I've seen a lot of things in my career, things that would make a citizen doubt my sanity. From being dispatched to chase a UFO to responding to calls of ghosts. But the most unusual thing that happened to me was witnessed by several officers and a dispatcher. One evening I had brought in a guy for domestic violence, and as he was a bit rowdy, I was joined in booking by the sergeant and another patrolman. I'm in the process of booking Mr. Tough Guy when I glance into cell number 1. There was a guy in there, short haircut, glasses, and a white t-shirt just staring at us. I ignored him because I didn't want him to start banging on the window, demanding a phone call or something. So I finished the booking process and escort Mr. Tough Guy to his cell, walking past cell number 1. The guy in the cell just stood there never saying a word or moving. We all then leave booking and go about our business. Sometime later, Sergeant asked me to check the paperwork for the prisoners to see if any were ready to transport to the county jail. I grab the paperwork and go into booking to do a head count. Cell number 1 is empty. I panic and tell the sergeant, who also panics, and he and I begin to make phone calls to the detectives to see if they had moved the guy or had released him. They all say they didn't go into booking at all. I then check the computer and paperwork again, and the head count was accurate. No one had been placed in cell number 1. We go to the dispatch office to check the surveillance video for booking. We rewind the footage to where I can be seen booking my prisoner. We fast forward to the point in the video where we all walk out. As soon as we walk past the door, the guy in number 1 blinks out of existence. We were all freaked out by the occurrence, believe you me. When we tried to transfer the video to a DVD and USB drive, the guy in the cell did not appear. We still hear and see stuff every now and then, and prisoners in the detox tank can be seen talking to someone in the direction of cell number 1, even though it appears empty. To this day, I'm wary of going into booking alone. Over 20 years ago, I took an alarm call at the old PDA building across the street from a courthouse in Austin, Texas. The alarm had already gone quiet when I showed up with a senior officer. We found an unsecured door slightly open on the east side. So he posted me there while he finished the perimeter and other officers arrived. I was staring right at the door when the alarm activated again, and the door slammed shut in my face, loudly. The senior officer ran back to my position and asked why I closed the door. I told him I didn't. We called for K9, and the dog arrived shortly. I went in with K9 to clear the building. We found nothing, but the entire time the dog was acting very hinky, like someone was in the building, but he wasn't picking up a scent. We secured the building and a key holder showed up. He said, "Well, you know the place is haunted, right? There was a secretary who worked there for about 30 years, and after she died, she keeps showing up for work. Papers fly off the desks, doors close, sightings the works." We both told the key holder the next alarm call there was all his. A couple of years back, I was patrolling around 0300 to 0400. I drive by a small airport in my jurisdiction that is in the middle of the woods, which has several hangars and one main office building. I drive by it a few times a night, as it has been burglarized in the past. On this particular night, I'm driving by and hear an audible alarm sounding from inside. I was not dispatched and did not receive any other calls about it. I call it in and walk up to the building, which is completely dark and not occupied. Every point of entry is secure, so I am now waiting on a key holder to let me in to clear the inside. I figure a loose door, the wind, etc. trip the alarm. The key holder comes out with his wife in a couple of minutes, and they open up the door for me. I clear the entire office, a garage, etc. Nothing is disturbed. The key holder is confused, as the alarm is not a motion alarm nor an alarm system. The key holder explains to me that the alarm is coming from a cash register that was open inside of the office. The cash register could only be opened by pressing a hidden button, which I'll say was extremely well hidden without going into too much detail. The only people who knew where the button was located was he, his wife, and his deceased father. He told me the cash register closes and locks, and without pressing this button, it couldn't possibly open. It was not an oversight neither, as I had driven by several hours before and heard nothing. The money was not disturbed, however. The register was all the way opened. The key holder smiled and told me that his father had created and owned the airport before he passed away, and that airplanes in this place, in particular, were his passion and life's work. The key holder told me that he believes his father does things like that to bring his family into the airport just to say hello and make his presence known. I don't have any other explanation for it. Called to a burglary in progress daytime. The owner was in the kitchen and heard someone run upstairs to the third floor, old house and wooden stairs. Set up a perimeter around the house. I came up with K9. Just as I gave K9 warning, a perimeter officer saw a hand pull a curtain back on the top floor and relayed the info to me, thinking surely we would be making an apprehension with K9, sent my partner in. Long story short, nobody was found. Officer was 100% certain he saw what he saw. The homeowner was confident he heard the running up of 12 steps. I was the SGT working overtime graveyard at a now demolished sub. It was my lunch break, and I heard someone open the door at the other end of the sub and heard footsteps. I had the light off in my office because the hall lights more than lit it up. I saw someone in the door, and when I turned to look, it was a shadow figure standing in the doorway as if to say, "Hi, SGT." It wasn't something I saw out of the corner of my eye, and it was there for a couple of seconds, and then went on towards the lieutenant's office. Later, when I asked the guys if they have ever experienced anything strange at the sub, they responded, "That's why we don't come back until the sun comes up." I found out about other experiences that others had, and it was similar. I'm still a skeptic, but I can't explain what I saw.